Hey, good morning, Viking Nation. This is your principal, Matt Haren, coming to you from home actually right now as I'm recording these announcements for the coming morning. Got a lot of practice at these back in the spring when we were during that closure time and started having a really great time with them. And so I'm excited to begin these and keep them going throughout the year and maybe add a bunch of layers to them where we start including students. You never know. But I want to welcome you all here today on Thursday, August 13th, the first day of school. And whether you're at home, online, as a blended learner in group two, or a full remote learner, or you're in person with us here to begin the school day, we're excited to see you and excited to be seen by the teachers and the adults and all the kids as well. And welcome and good to see you parents as well if you're watching these morning announcements with your child this morning or catching them on the replay as these are going to be loaded on our YouTube channel as well as on the Facebook page, which will be getting out to you soon if you haven't already seen it. But I want to get into a few things here this morning, kids and teachers, and let you know that school's changed and the way we're learning is changing. And I'm going to start with that because normally we begin with the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence, and we end with some birthdays. And we'll get to that. That will come probably on Monday as we roll in here. But today is going to be absolutely a crazy busy day, and that's okay because there's a lot of feelings of anxiety, unknownness, confusion at times. Even right now, as many of you are watching this, whether you're at home or in person, I'm probably actually working with students, getting them ready to get into a classroom wherever they need to be because they may not have a schedule at this time, and working with teachers to make sure to problem solve through some of those issues with technology. So bear with us if things may not be working well at the moment. And again, if you're watching this on the replay, hopefully we've had it figured out by the time you're seeing this. But every morning I will be on. Your teachers are going to load these video announcements onto their LMS page. And whether you're in person or at home, you'll be able to access these morning announcements. And they'll be archived as well, so you can watch previous days as needed. So that's a great thing. And that's what I think one great opportunity we took away from this past spring is the ability to communicate through this means digitally, no matter where you are. Again, like I said, I'm at home recording this right now. Of course, tomorrow I'll probably record them at the end of the school day from school, but I could be anywhere. You never know where I'm going to show up. I might even have some of my dogs out here if I'm recording them at home. Some of you may remember seeing that last year when I did that a little bit. To you sixth graders, we welcome you to Lane Middle School, and we're excited to have you, and it's going to be an amazing experience. It's different, and you may not know the difference yet, but it is. But it's still going to be an amazing school year with your teachers and with your classmates as normal. Just a lot of changes in how that will look. To you seventh and eighth graders, welcome back again, both at home and online, and we're excited to have you. Again, one of the big things to make note of, these announcements should be watched, especially if you're at home around 7:20. Teachers with your in-class students, you'll have them pull up around 7:20 as well while they're doing their breakfast. And then around 7:30 is when you can look to have your classes begin. Whether that's a Zoom call with your teacher, whether that's an assignment or a video you need to watch that leads you to the learning activity for that period. There's definitely going to be attendance taken within the class period to make sure both in person and online you're tracking and doing what you need to do, and teachers can make sure you get logged. So that's all important stuff that we need to remember as we head into this new school year, what's going to look like. And again, I want to just caution you and reassure you that if it doesn't seem to be working right now, we'll get it figured out together. And you can contact teachers, you can contact school, contact administration, and we'll work it out. So no worries on there. Have some grace for yourself in this learning process, and we'll help you through it. No worries on that. There'll be some other videos that I'll have throughout the course of the day or the next couple days for specifically the in-person learners that are coming in school, as well as people that are just at home. I'll be sending out, or I would have sent out late last night to parents, another video selection of what to look like what it looks like when you're navigating the LMS, particularly on home pages for teachers. And I gave you an example there. So that's something, again, as you go home tonight, you can kind of check through and look through. Something else to think about, students, before I get into sort of the health and safety side of everything, is we're not going to get complicated right away. We're going to keep things pretty basic. And so, as I told my teachers, if the biggest successes we have today and tomorrow, whether in person or at home, is that you're able to get logged on, we take attendance, and maybe have some interaction, that's a success compared to what we had last spring. And so, teachers, I can tell you've been working so hard to fine tune and just get ready for whatever today and tomorrow bring, and we'll keep going and keep problem solving through, because that's really what this is going to be about for these first couple weeks, is the problem solving that we have to figure out together. As I've been saying to my staff and the teachers, they're all like first year teachers, brand new teachers. You're all kind of like brand new students as you get to know what school is like again, um, in this new learning environment. And like I said, we can make it great. We can rise above. We can make it dynamic, but we're going to have to be innovative along the way here at the Viking Nation. And I know we have the staff and the students that can make that happen. So it's going to be a great time, and we'll get it figured out together as we move along. As I mentioned before, we'll do the pledge, we'll do the moment of silence and birthdays beginning next week. Teachers are going to run you through, whether you're in person or at home, we're going to run you through sort of the routines that you can expect going throughout the school year. So be attentive. If you're on the Zoom call, make sure you're listening. Ask some questions as you need to. If your question doesn't get answered right then, it will get answered at some point. So just bear that in mind. For some of you, if you're at home on the LMS, it could be a video that you're watching similar to like you're watching these announcements. That's okay too. And will still have an opportunity to reach out and have some contact and give some feedback with your teachers throughout the day. And if you're struggling with figuring that out, call into the school, leave a message, or talk with the administrator, and we will get back to you and help you work through that. Now let's move on to the health and safety side of things. Some of you have selected to do the blended learning, meaning you're here as a group one, you're in-person class today. Great. If you're group two, you're at home, but you come tomorrow while the group one learners are at home. We'll get more into how the schedule works later on over the course of the next 2 days, and I'll be sending some of the information to your parents. But even though we are in school, school looks much different. You're still able to go to your different classes. You still have all your related arts options. Although I will say this, if you have Spanish on your schedule, Spanish, we don't really have, we have a plan, but we don't have a Spanish class or Spanish teacher right now. So if you have Spanish on your schedule, what you'll be doing is going directly to the cafeteria, where you'll be meeting with Miss Gert, and she's going to walk you through some potential changes to your Spanish class at this time. Now, Spanish for high school credit, that will still be going on. I'm working with the district to come up with an online course that you can take for the first semester, but we'll get that figured out. So just a quick update there. For some others of you, if you have Miss Smith's creative writing class, you're going to meet in the media center for that particular class. So if it says on your schedule a different room number, scratch that out and make sure you go to the media center to meet with Miss Smith. Usually it would be a 6th period class or an 8th period class, so bear that in mind. I will get you the process to your parents as well as to all of you for schedule changes if needed. And I'm open to listening, because, again, it's been a different type of end to last year, summer, and beginning to this year. And so if we got to make schedule adjustments, that's okay. We'll figure that out. Now, I deviated off my path already. I'm going to get back into why we're able to have in-person learning. We're able to have in-person learning because we have significant, drastic restrictions and regulations on how we move around the school. Already, if you're an in-person learner, you know that if you took a bus in, you have an assigned seat, you have to wear a mask, you have to sanitize, and have to stay social distance. As you got off the bus, or as you got out of your car, you walked up to school, you notice there are social distance markers on the sidewalk. You have to follow those. If we don't follow those rules, we won't be able to be in school, and school will have to shut down. Now, Just because one person doesn't follow it doesn't mean the school is shutting down. What it means is that one person may not be able to be an in-person learner. So if you want to be an in-person learner, you're going to have to make sure you follow all these regulations, these guidelines that we're outlining. The teacher is going to be talking with you. I'll be having more videos sharing that with you, and admin will be working with you as well. Those social distance markers that you have to stand on when we're before school, after school, those are also present in the hallways. And so what you have to understand is that those have to be followed. There's no social gatherings anywhere. Let me repeat, there's no social gatherings of students at any point. So that is an important thing to remember, specifically during passing periods. When a teacher dismisses you from class, you go from that class directly to your next class, from point A to point B. There's no stopping, there's no locker stops. You don't have a locker. Everything is there within your book bag. You've got your laptop, your charger, your earbuds, something to write with, and a notebook maybe. That's all you have. That's all you need right now. And if we need more, I'll let you know, or teachers will let you know. But at this point, when you leave the classroom, just like when you came in today, you came in, you walked directly to first period. You didn't have a first period class. You know, you went to the cafeteria, we're figuring it out with you right now. But you go to direct to that first period class, you sit down in your seat as the teacher instructs you. Those seating charts have to be followed. That is a state, that is a district, that is a health guideline in the event that we have to contact trace if somebody gets sick. We can follow them wherever they were throughout the day. So please make sure that when you walk in that classroom, you are seated and you are attentive. And again, mask needs to be up. It needs to be worn over the nose at all times, unless your teacher would give you a mask break, but that is totally on them, and they will explain to you how that mask break works. When I'm on these video announcements, as long as I'm not around anybody, I won't be wearing the mask. But you'll see me in probably a couple different ones around the building. You stay in your seat the entire time. You're going to notice that every seat in every classroom is facing the front of facing the front, wherever the teacher is. And it's going to stay that way. There's no collaborative grouping unless we're using chat rooms within a Zoom call, or a teacher has another alternative figured out. When the class period ends, the teacher will instruct you on the procedures for the cleaning, because after each class period, all desktops, seats, seat backs need to be cleaned. And they'll walk you through what those procedures are. As the bell rings, or as the teacher dismisses you when the bell rings, again, you leave the classroom, follow instructions of administrators or teachers, and you go directly to your next class and you sit down. Again, there's no bathroom breaks. There's no water refill breaks at that time. That will take place during the given class period, and the teacher knows what those procedures are. That's already a lot to think about. And so I'm not going to overwhelm you with much more, because I'll be around over the course of this morning and kind of checking in with all of you and teachers and seeing what the needs are. For those of you that are online, if you're a Group 2 student, you're getting a little taste before you come tomorrow of what it's going to be like. And so from that standpoint, you can kind of almost get a visual in your head. Although I can tell you the actual experience of it is much different than trying to think about it. So I'm already going over what I wanted to in my original announcements, but there were definitely some things I wanted to set a tone with you as we begin. Listen, I know it sounds like, oh man, this is not going to be any fun. And to a degree, there are definitely some things that are not fun that we have to follow as far as guidelines and procedures, again, for the health and safety of our staff, our students, your families, so that we can make sure everybody stays healthy and we can stay in school. Other than that, we're going to start adding in the incentives and some reward systems and things of that nature. Again, still following all the social distancing guidelines and the mask guidelines and all of that as well. One other thing I wanted to make you aware of, you should be receiving from your teachers, if you're an in-person learner, a plastic bag like this. That is for you throughout the day if you're given a mask break, but more specifically, when you are eating breakfast or lunch, as a location of where you put your mask during that time. And you'll just slide it in here, because during lunch, wherever you are, whether you're eating in a classroom with an admin or a teacher, or you're in the lunchroom with a couple administrators, this is where you put your mask while you're eating. That is really the only time that you have a long length of time where you will have that mask off. So I feel like I've said a lot. Oh, maybe overloaded yet. Teachers will communicate with me what else I need to be able to share with you. And some of this might be shared by the end of the day or even after that. Again, we're so glad you're here, but we've got to make sure we follow a number of guidelines and a number of things as we go throughout their day. And again, folks, teachers, students, it's going to look different. And we're going to figure it out together so that we can stay safe and stay healthy as we go throughout our day. And the one thing about the Viking Nation I know, and every student that we have, and every adult that we have, is that we are people that come together to make things happen. We can find the opportunity within the challenge. We can rise above, we can be dynamic, and we can figure out to be innovative so we can have some great learning experiences here at Lane Middle School. And so I want to thank you for listening. This one definitely went longer than I was planning. I was thinking 10 minutes. It went a good 16. But at this point, I'm going to stop. I'm going to turn it over to your teachers. Teachers, I'm a little longer, but maybe you were able to get on and check in with your at-home learners right away. But it's great to see you, everybody, whether you're at home, whether you're in person, and we'll be talking with you more. Have a great first day of school.